Welcome to Live with Anton Gunn. Leadership Live is here to stay, and I'm ready to get to work today with you. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you may be in the world. I want to say it's a pleasure to be here with you. Now, today I want to have a particular conversation that happens to me over and over and over again as a keynote speaker. Literally, I get hired by companies, organizations, and associations to talk about a few topics. One of them that is on the mind of every business in this first quarter of 2024. And that thing is business growth. What are people trying to do to grow their business? They want to hit their quarterly goals. They want to hit their annual goals. They want their teams more productive. They want to see people doing all of the things they need to do in order for them to find success as a company. Now, we all know why it's important to have success because who wants to be in business for a hobby? Everybody wants to be in business for success and to be able to make money, return on their investment, so to speak. So everybody's trying to find a way to grow their businesses. So whether it's using AI technology or whether it's, developing new products, trying to find ways to be innovative, everybody is trying to find that edge to grow their business. But the one cornerstone piece that exists in all businesses that many of them have not figured out how to use it to spawn their productivity or to continue their productivity is the one that I get called in to talk about the most. And that is the people side of the operation or their employees. And so today I wanted to spend just a few minutes unpacking the important point of employee engagement as the key for business growth. Now, when I say unpacking employee engagement, I want you to know that if your employees are not engaged in the workplace, and you can see that very easily, you know that people are not going to be productive. They're going to be what I have historically called 859ers. Now, I've said this before, but I want to break it down to you again. You might have 30% of your workforce that are 859ers. God forbid you might have 50% of your workforce as 859ers. Now, what is an 859er? An 859er is the person who shows up at work at 8:59 a.m. Now, when I say 8:59 a.m., I'm literally telling you that they pull into the parking lot and they're walking through the door at 8:59. And all day while they're working, they're only going to do the bare minimum. They're going to be slow to respond to emails. They're going to finish projects on time, but they won't ever be ahead of schedule. They're going to do their work that you paid them to do, nothing more and nothing less. And then at 4:59 p.m., they're going to be headed out the door into the parking lot and in their car heading home. Now, maybe some of your workforce is remote, or maybe all of them are remote. But these are the people who are not going to open an email before 8:59 a.m. And when they open their email at 8:59 a.m., they're going to get to them one at a time. There won't be any urgency or an expediency to what they do. And then at 4:59 p.m., when that last email comes in at 4:59, they're going to say, I will get to it tomorrow. That's a sign that they're disengaged. At a minimum, it says that they ain't really excited about helping you achieve your goals as a company, as a leader, and as an organization. They ain't committed to it. And I'm not saying people need to be workaholics to show you that they are engaged. I'm saying they don't mind going the extra mile for the team that they're on and the people that they work with and the organization they're attached to. They don't mind it. But whenever you see people doing the bare minimum, if you are an 859er or if you know some 859ers, you know these people are not boosting your productivity. They're not at all delivering on the value proposition that you hope to deliver as a business. Now, you got to fix this problem. Now, I'm going to give you some ways to fix this problem before I'm done here today. I'm also going to talk about the role of leadership. See, when I give my keynotes are primarily, not exclusively, but primarily spoken to leaders. How do you, as a leader, have a responsibility to be a person that everyone will admire, do your job, but more importantly, create an environment and a culture where everybody feels valued, they feel respected, they feel included, they feel visible, but most importantly, they feel empowered to execute on your mission so you can grow the margin. And that empowerment is a synonym for them being productive, actively productive. And most organizations haven't figured this out. That's why we see high turnover rates. That's why we see low retention rates. That's why we see people quitting mentally and emotionally on a job long before they physically quit. That they will stay at work and collect a paycheck for another 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years, doing the bare minimum, being an 859er, mailing it in every day until they find some other place that they are going to be motivated, inspired, and empowered and productive for somebody else. So how do you keep that from happening to you? Because you don't want to lose your people. Because if you lose your people, you know it takes a whole lot more to get them trained up to speed, to get them prepared, to get them engaged, to get them developed so they can be efficient. So it's better to keep them. You know, there was some song back in the 70s that talk about when you're married, it's cheaper to keep her. So it's cheaper to keep a happy marriage than it is to go through a divorce, lose your partner or your spouse, and pay all of that money, alimony, everything else, and then have to start over again with somebody else. So that song says to men, it's cheaper to keep her. Well, I'm telling you right now, it is cheaper to keep them engaged, empowered to boost your productivity. Now, let me tell you the benefits of when you find a way to keep your employees engaged. Now, I'm going to give you 4 or 5 ways that you can keep your team and the people on your team engaged. So if you're a leader and want to be a leader, this is going to give you the game. I'm going to put you on game, as the young folks like to say. But here are the benefits. I already said the first one is productivity. The second one is retention, keeping your people retained so they don't quit. The third one that you don't really see and don't really talk about a lot is innovation. Then when people are motivated and inspired and committed to their workplace, they're going to come up with new ideas. They're going to share those ideas. They want to try things to help you to be better because they care about the place in which they work. So you're going to get that inspired innovation. And you're also going to get a world-class workplace culture. You're going to get those things if you know how to unleash the key to business growth, which is productivity. So let me tell you how you need to frame up your work as a leader if you want to boost productivity, keep your employees engaged, to find success and love in the joy at work. The joy at work is tied into people being engaged. So here's the first thing is that you need to be transparent in your communications. So if you want to write something down, if you want to screenshot something, it should be that you need to communicate transparently about everything that's going on at work. The term no surprises should be what you should embody for the people that you lead, that report to you. Your employees shouldn't be surprised about anything. They shouldn't be surprised that a layoff is coming. They shouldn't be surprised that you're not hitting quarterly numbers. They shouldn't be surprised about good news or bad news, because that transparency in your communications is going to breed the kind of trust that makes people say, my leader has my back. My company has my back, so I'm going to have theirs. So be transparent in your communication. The second thing you need to do is to reward, recognize, and appreciate your people. Everybody deserves some reward, recognition, and appreciation, especially when they're working hard. And there's so many organizations who never reward or recognize their people. They don't even say thank you. And you wonder why people say that this is a thankless job, or I feel like I'm not appreciated here. They're going to go somewhere else where they feel appreciated. That's real talk. The next thing you need to do is invest in their professional development. Then when you have people on your team in your organization, everybody needs a professional development plan. I literally was talking to a potential client last week, and we were having a conversation, and I asked two basic questions. I asked, what is your leadership development plan for your leaders? And what is your employee development plan? What are you doing to develop your employees? And shamefully, disturbingly, they responded, we don't have an employee development plan. We do some things on leadership development, but we don't have an employee development plan. And by not having an employee development plan, you know what you're saying to me? You're saying to me that we think all of our employees are good enough that they don't need any growth and development work. They don't need to be supported in any kind of way. Well, if you already think your team is good enough, they might be good enough for today, but they're not good enough for tomorrow. They're not good enough to thrive as artificial intelligence continues to change the way you do business. They're not good enough to focus on the next generation of customers and consumers and the people that you need to understand their needs in order to be able to serve them. You got to keep investing in your employees, developing them, making sure that they stay cutting edge for everything that's changing in this world. So if you don't have an employee development plan or professional development plan for your leaders, you're going to watch people disengage. I've had people call me for coaching and say, listen, now, I want to work with you, but my company doesn't provide any support. And of course, I'm happy to work with them if they have the budget in their own pockets. But I say to them, honestly, your company should be paying for this, not you. I'm happy to help you. But if your company is not willing to create a budget every year for you to get some level of independent professional development, and they ain't really providing a lot for you that's helping you to grow individually, you're going to disengage. And all of these people were disengaged that called me about working with them. So that's the third thing you got to do, is you got to have some professional development. Now, the fourth thing I'm going to give you as I prepare to close, and I want to talk at the end to leaders on a few things you need to do as a leader, in addition to these things that I'm framing up now. I want to give you that. But this fourth thing is real clear, is if you want people to stay engaged and you want to boost their productivity, you need to not micromanage them and give them some autonomy to get the job done. Nobody likes to be micromanaged. Nobody. Nobody wants to feel like you got to check in with them every 5 minutes and tell them what to do and be on their back and to have all kinds of concerns about this, that, and the third. You hired them. You believe that they met the prerequisites for the job. Your job is to unleash them so they can get the job done. Support them, but don't micromanage them. See, if you micromanage, they're going to disengage. If you don't give them professional development, they're going to disengage. If you don't recognize, reward, and appreciate them, they're going to disengage. And if you don't stay transparent in your communications, they're going to disengage. That's the facts. So if you want to boost your productivity, you want to know what the key is to business growth, it's employee engagement. And it starts with transparency, appreciation, development, professional development, and most importantly, autonomy. Those are the 4 keys. Now, here's a special point of emphasis for you as a leader. And I want you to understand this and operationalize this for the rest of the week. That if you want people to be productive at work and be engaged, you need to lead by example. Leading by example means you need to be working hard. Stop taking them 5-hour lunches or those 2-hour lunches. or showing up late for meetings. You got to be the example of what you want people to do. It also means you need to be accessible to them, that they need to feel like that they're connected to you as their leader. You got to be connected to your people, so be accessible. But most importantly, create a positive environment for everybody to work in. Be the kind of leader that smiles every day, that gives people great information, great news, and create an environment that's totally fun. These are the kind of things that I can teach you how to do in a practical sense. I can give you the everyday steps that you need, and I do that through a keynote speech. So if you're interested in having me to come deliver a talk at your organization that will help your business grow by focusing on your employee engagement, then make sure you click the link in the bio, send us a message, and we will be happy to follow up to see about helping you to boost your productivity, your business growth by showing you the ways on how to deeply engage your employees so they will be the most unstoppable force for all of the growth possible. And these are your people. They matter more than anything else. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. You can read more in the blog about this, which is also linked in the bio of this program. And I will see y'all next Wednesday, 9 a.m. for Leadership Live with Anton Gunn. Everybody have a fantastic day.